So yeah, I think there's an important point that needs to be made about the fundamental injustice and hypocrisy of some drugs being dealt with these sort of punitive criminal justice responses, both aimed at users and in terms of criminalising the supply. And other drugs are not only legal and state sanctioned, but to a certain extent state approved or state encouraged. I mean, I was actually in the House of Commons yesterday on the way to a all-party drugs group with the drugs minister, and on the way to the committee room I passed the House of Commons gift shop, and there was House of Commons branded whiskey, and I just kind of thought to myself, and it was only recently that they stopped selling House of Commons branded cigarettes. So there are actually House of Commons branded drugs. These are, if you go by the kind of Lancet David Nutt et al. Version, these are Class A drugs on sale in the foyer of the House of Commons with the government's stamp of approval on. And the government gives tax breaks of various kinds and lets those industries push them around all over the place in terms of law making and policy making. So certain drugs aren't just legal, they're actually allowed to aggressively market with government approval. Now, I don't approve of that. I don't think they should be allowed to market that way, but I don't think they should be illegal either. Yet why are these certain drugs legal and these certain other ones criminalised and their users punished? And there does seem to be a fundamental injustice. It seems that users of those drugs are being actively discriminated against within the law. There certainly seems to be scope for challenging that in terms of certain human rights legislation or I don't know quite. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what the way to do that would be. But there is a fundamental injustice in law that certain drugs are legal and other ones are not, and the users are punished, and their behaviours are punished, and they're forced into the hands of criminal entrepreneurs to procure and use those drugs. So there's something really odd going on there, and I think highlighting that fundamental disjuncture between alcohol and tobacco and other illegal drugs, cannabis, ecstasy and so on, is a useful way of highlighting some of the kind of logical inconsistency and just outright idiocy of the war on drugs, not least because increasingly alcohol and tobacco are being better regulated, and yet there's no debate around regulation of illegal drugs happening at all. So it's certainly an interesting point to push, highlighting some of the hypocrisy around the way different drugs are dealt with by society and law.